It's not easy for us today to understand what it was like in past times. For example, today we are nearly inundated with all kinds of information, much of it entertainment. With a dish on the roof, the world comes pouring in. We have hundreds of channels of everything from history to the arts to the silliest things on TV. But for our ancestors here in Daviess County, it was not like that. For many, when the county was first platted and named, and for native peoples before that, entertainment was a do-it-yourself thing. In the era of our ancestors here in Daviess County, nearly everyone either played piano, or played guitar, or even violin. Every home that could afford one had a piano, and the piano bench was often overflowing with sheet music. Much of the dance music of the times was derived from Irish jigs or German tavern music. And we often overlook that another area of music and singing brought joy and a chance for expression: the music at church. Yes, before the electronic era, music was a simple art, often a family thing. And by today's standards, where music is often recorded and then re-recorded and then sweetened and tweaked with, this music was primitive, but it was from the heart. People in the early days of Daviess County survived because they were self-sufficient, and much of that self-sufficiency related to music and the arts. The coming of the railroad to Washington and better roads to other parts of the county, particularly just after the Civil War, brought new talent to the area. An early vaudeville circuit meant out-of-town entertainers were coming to Daviess County with new sounds, new music, and new jokes. Many towns had performance venues, initially called the Opera House. Rural as Daviess County was, occasionally nationally known stars came through, including John Philip Sousa, Bob Hope, Fanny Brice, and Bert Lahr. Washington eventually got a movie theater. Other county towns did also. By the 20s, many were building primitive radio sets that could pick up early stations in Evansville and Indianapolis during the day, and clear channel powerhouse stations in Chicago and Nashville at night. These big city stations were on networks, NBC and CBS, and suddenly Daviess County was laughing at Fibber McGee and Molly, Burns and Allen, Bergen and McCarthy, and hearing the sounds of the NBC Symphony, and on Saturday nights, listening to the Grand Ole Opry.
Got my sunny shoes on, got my hair slicked down, having a big time tonight.
Suddenly, and it happened quickly, rural Daviess County was connected to the rest of the nation, laughing at the same jokes, enjoying the same music, listening to national news, and hearing short-wave reports from around the world. Major movies came to the county, great silent films including The General, and All Quiet on the Western Front, and King of Kings. Finally, theaters were outfitted for sound, and Daviess County citizens were swept up in Gone with the Wind, and movies of the Marx Brothers. And on Saturdays, little boys and girls filled the theaters to watch the latest installment of continuing serials, and to be taken back to the Old West by Hopalong Cassidy, and eventually Roy and Dale.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.
The days of home entertainment were dying. Movies and radios were taking over. Entertainment was becoming packaged, and those old pianos in Daviess County filled with sheet music were now sitting dusty and unplayed in old family parlors.